6 losses in a row. 6 strikingly similar losses in a row with a lot of the same culprits. But please do go on. Keep things exactly as they are. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday if you're into football and or baseball. I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates where you found this. Golden Knights 5, Penguins 2, 6 losses in a row. Please spare me any loser points that were plucked along the way. 6 losses is 6 losses. And we now formally have the streakiest / slumpiest team in the NHL based here in Pittsburgh, because that's what you're looking at right now. Start off the season 4-0-1, lose 7 in a row, win like for a month straight, and now this. How does that happen? How does it happen multiple times? How does it happen without any meaningful personnel adjustment by anyone? And when I say personnel, I'm not just talking about roster moves up or down, trades, this or that. I'm talking about even within the scope of lines and pairings, the movement's been minimal. And you know what? There's a part of me that respects that, in particular about Mike Sullivan, because there's a lot I respect about Sullivan, in that he usually ends up being right. He sticks by his guys, and they in turn stick by him. And whenever things get bleak, he can go to them and say, all I've done is stand by you. And that individual says, well, coach, I'm going to stand by you too. And then they go out there and they have 1 or 2 great games like the one in Winnipeg, or a couple of the ones that they had here at home, including, by the way, against the Golden Knights just a month ago. And you can think to yourself, as I'm sure Sullivan and the management team do collectively, well, this is okay. We have a really good hockey team here. But it doesn't hold up. It doesn't sustain itself. And I am not even going to come within 100 meters of pointing to the absences of Tristan Jarry, Chris Letang, Jeff Petrie, Josh Archibald, Ryan Poehling. Not this time. Not this time. I would have done that, at least partially, had the Penguins put up something of a fight. Anything. But they didn't. They didn't come close to it. And I couldn't be convinced that this outcome would have been any different at all with all of those guys in the lineup if they'd taken the same approach. What this roster right now needs is a shock to the system. I'm not generally one of those people who says, get rid of this guy and call up everybody from the minors. I don't do that as a matter of course, and I definitely don't do it with a team that doesn't have much of a minor league system from which to call anyone up. But this is looking to be very different. This portion of Daily Shot of Penguins is brought to you by the good people at the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, where they're committed to providing food for all of our neighbors in need across Western Pennsylvania. They, in turn, need your help. Find out how $1 can be turned into 5 full meals for those in need. Visit pittsburghfoodbank.org. This was Sidney Crosby last night in Las Vegas.
I mean, no one likes losing, but you know how we handle it, I think, is going to define our group. So, you know, we can hang our heads or get frustrated, or we can do something about it. So, I like to think we're going to do something about it.
Okay, but do what about it? Try harder? Great. I mean, that's wonderful. Okay, that's what a captain is supposed to say, and more important, that's what a captain is supposed to help make happen. And as I said to you on yesterday's show, before this game in Las Vegas, I didn't have a good feeling about it, but I did feel like one of these 2 games that they have on this road trip was going to turn into one of those desperation, we're going to defend at any and all costs kind of games, and they're going to come home feeling at least a little bit better about themselves. And that's the way this finale against the Coyotes in Tempe, Arizona is shaping up. I could very much see the Penguins doing that. And I also could see the Penguins, as a result, just covering up the same warts, because they'll manufacture the energy that they want/need for this one game, but they won't be able to have it for other stretches. There needs to be more of a freshness to this lineup. There needs to be more energy for this team as a whole to perform more consistently. Where is that going to come from? Again, I'm not a dope here. I know what's in Wilkes-Barre. But I also know that if you don't call up Valtteri Puustinen, Alex Nylander, and Philip Hollander, and whoever else, I don't care, and create yourself some kind of line that threatens other people's jobs, that puts them on notice that they can't get away with this periodically or in 1 week or 2 week stretches, then what we've seen occur intermittently over the course of the season will continue to occur, and arguably by season's end, by the time you get to games 78, 80, and 82, will be that much worse. And that's presuming that those won't be the last games that they play overall. No, none of those guys I just mentioned is the answer, and I really like Puustinen, okay? But they're getting over a point a game down there. Puustinen had a nice goal last night and an assist. Nylander had a goal. And look, all they have to do is come up and have themselves like a fun week or two and make things happen. Maybe one of them sticks, maybe none of them do. But you send the right bolt of lightning through the whole room. Make it one day. One game, pick one game where you scratch Jeff Carter, where you scratch Brian Dumoulin, and you shake everybody up. You don't have to trade them, dump them, release them, shoot them, whatever. You just need to wake everyone up, and this is the way to do it. I'm just going to say it, there's a complacency. There's a complacency with this team that isn't healthy right now. And if the head coach doesn't want to make it happen or just thinks he's going to stick by his guys, then it has to happen over his head. When we come back, J1Q. Comes from Todd, who says, okay, Coach DK, what line pairings you going with in the next game? Well, Todd, I'll start with this. The next game in Tempe, Arizona against the Coyotes isn't going to be the kind of cakewalk it would have appeared a month or so ago. The Coyotes are playing better hockey. They're certainly scoring more goals than they had. And the atmosphere, the environment is going to be different to a degree that probably matches the Winter Classic in its own weird way. Because you're going to go from having no roof to a roof that's basically 6 inches over your head with that gymnasium that they're using that seats about 5,000. It's going to be very, very different. It's going to require an adjustment unto itself. And you know what? Good. Let's start with that, okay? Good. That can be the first adjustment that's made. But I know what you're going for here because it's easy for me to say, change this, change that, and whatever else, and not throw out any names or any other possibilities. I will say that I'm not inclined to mess with the top 6, not because they've been good. My goodness, they have not been good. But at least when the Penguins have had their non-lull moments in games, such as the first 15 minutes of the second period last night in Las Vegas, those guys have been okay. They've looked like themselves. I think more than anything else, it's a matter of just having that wake-up call, getting things going when it needs to be going. Right off the bat, this team just gives up so much so soon in a hockey game. And what's the best way to address that? Well, that's where you have energy lines, and that's where you have lines of players who are ready to just go flying through a cement wall for you, like the ones I mentioned in the opening segment. Is it just a short-term thing? Yeah, sure, maybe, or not. I don't know. Who cares? Short-term is what you need. What you need is an actual jolt to the engine to get it going. This team doesn't have that right now, and it's not about to get that from the top six. Put somebody, anybody, out there for a shift or two that'll get you something, that'll have everyone else on the bench going, hey, look at this. All right, boys, let's go, boys. Yeah, boys, or whatever it is that gets you going, And yet again, I'm going to repeat here, I know what's in Wilkes-Barre. I see their line combinations. I see their statistics. It's not exciting. And no one is being held down. But they're also not being utilized for the other purpose that you can get out of minor league players. And that is to have them come up and go diving and splattering all over the place to make things happen. Because the guys on your current roster won't do that. There is a shameful comfort level with this group right now, and I did not expect this. And if you're saying that you did, you're lying. I'm sorry, but you are. Because you saw the pride with which this team was carrying itself for about 5 weeks, being the very, very best in the entire National Hockey League. So yeah, what would the rest of my lines be? I don't know. As long as Valtteri Puustinen and Alex Nylander and somebody else who gives a crap is on them. I'm not ducking the question. I'm not ducking the issue. Those are the guys who have eyeballs on the other side of the state watching this group. J.D. Forrest is by far the best qualified to tell Mike Sullivan in one of the many phone calls that they have, hey, this guy I got down here right now, he could absolutely help you. I watched you guys last night in Las Vegas. He'd be able to step right in with whatever it is that you need, including special teams. Let's do that. Puustinen, Nylander, I don't care who. I don't care if they aren't the type who are going to come up and make a huge name for themselves and become the next Jake Gensel or whatever it is. That can't be the criteria here. Bring them up to make a difference, even if it's just for a week or two, and actually use them. Try that as well. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everyone listening to Daily Shot of Penguins. We'll do another one of these Monday.